I'll keep it. What I will do, guys, on this page itself, okay, first I will show you how does a to-do list application looks like. Okay, to-do list app. We'll just see how the interface of any to-do list app looks like. Okay, on that basis you can get an idea of it. We will see some any simpler one. Yeah, here it's better, I guess. But this one, all of you can see. What does it have? So it is having this. We'll go to where we can enter the task. Correct. Here we can enter some task. Okay, I can enter some task, and as soon as we click on this add button, what it will do, it will add the task here in this task list. Correct? Yes or no? And did we implemented this thing up till here? Forget about edit and delete. Did we implemented these things? Yes. Yes. Up till here we have implemented. Correct? So all these task lists we have implemented. Correct? Now what I will do, we are going to create one form. How many fields do we have for our form? We have two fields. Correct? One is to enter the name of the task, and one is to enter the description of the task. Correct? We have one enter the task and another one enter the description, and then add button. Okay, now all of you know how to create a form. We will create something similar to this. Okay, we'll create something like similar like this. Okay, we'll try to do that. You guys want me to create something like this only, or we'll just not stick to CSS for now? We'll do that. Yeah, it's fine, because CSS you guys should do at least that much. Here my main fundamentals or whatever the aim is to teach you how these things are going to be implemented. Okay, afterwards we will work on CSS and all. Okay, so first I will create one form here on top. Okay, just like they have here, right? I will also change the name. We'll say to-do list app, and after that we are going to create one form. Okay, so we'll go to our this here in our home page itself. Correct? In our home page only we are going to create. So we will say to-do list. What it was? To-do list app. Correct? To-do list app we will create. After that, what we want? We need a form. Correct? We are going to call one form. Now I will suggest you one thing. We are always going to create form in separate HTML file. Just like we create our nav bar separately, our footer separately, right? Similar to that, we are going to create our form also separately, so that whenever we want, we can call this form.html. Okay, we can make use of the same form anywhere. Understood? So what we can do here, only in templates only, I will create one form. Everyone is following, right? Form.html. Okay, I will call it as form.html. How do we create a form? First, what we have to do? Tell me, everyone. Are we going to extend it? No. We are going to include this form to all wherever we want. Okay. Not even base.html. We don't want to include it in base.html. We will include it directly into our home.html. Just do not take much pressure about base, HTML, home, all those things. Okay, forget about all those things. What we are going to do, I will create here my form. Okay, how do we do that? We say a form tag. Correct? this form tag, using this form tag, we are going to create one. Now, what I am doing here, I am submitting the data, correct? Yes or no? I am submitting the data to my backend. At that time, which method should I use? Should I use get or post? You tell me. Which one is the secured one? Are you sure get method? Am I creating a search functionality here? Or I am actually creating one data now? Whenever we are creating a data, always we should use post method. It is not a problem to use get method, but still you have to use post method whenever you are creating a new data. Understood? So we are going to create here. How do we create it? You tell me. How we are going to assign this, make this form to use post method. Correct. We are going to say method equal to, in double quotes, we are going to say post. Correct. And whenever we use post method, what we have to do? Tell me, what is that important thing that we have to do? Otherwise, it is going to give us error and it is not safe. Correct. We have to implement something called as CSRF token, where CSRF stands for cross-site request forgery. Okay, we will say CSRF underscore token. Yes or no? Good. You guys remembered everything. Now here, how many fields do we want? We want 2 fields, correct? So I will create one label for equal to, he'll say name of the task. It will say task. Okay. Task, and I will create input field for it as text only. Okay. One more we want label for our description, correct? Description, and I will put input for DESC. Sorry. Type is text. Okay. Now you guys tell me. Okay. Before you tell me anything, I need one submit button also. Correct. So I will say input submit. Submit. And how do we change the text? By the default text of that submit button, by default it will say what? It will say submit, correct? By default it is going to say submit. How we are going to change it? Yes, we are going to specify value, correct? We will say, we'll use this value attribute, and I will say here add task. Okay, not login. We are not logging in. You can give anything. I will give add task. Okay, I'll give add task. So our form is ready. Yes or no? Form is ready. Now what we have to do? We will just include this form. That's it. Everyone understood how to create this form, right? Yes. No, we don't need break now. For now, okay. We'll not use break. Okay. Just like this only. In one line. They are having it in one line, right? So I will also create it in one line. Okay. Afterwards, we'll see that next line and all. Now you guys know it now. That's enough for me. Good. Okay. So this much of the form, however you want, you can create. That is all design stuff, correct? You can create however you want. Okay. It's your own choice. I know you guys are better at, you guys are artists here, some of you, who can do much more better CSS than I can do. Okay. I'm not that good at CSS and all. So just don't judge me if I do anything. And yeah, today I want to show you my project also. So we will do that. Just remind me at around 8 or 8:15. You guys just remind me. You guys can just take ideas from it. Okay. As soon as we complete these models and authentication, I want you guys to work on something similar to that. Okay. I will show you my project afterwards. Just remind me afterwards, okay? We are going to complete it quick. All of you understood how to create this, and now we are going to include it. I will just include it directly in my home page. Okay, in this home.html, I will include. I'll say include. What was that? Form.html. HTML. Done. Shall we check how does it looks like? I'm going to just reload it. Okay, see, better. It's better, right? Task and description. Now what do we have to do, guys? Now, if I type anything here, I want it like if I add task, okay? Now you guys tell me, okay, first check the view, okay? Check my URLs. At default path, which function is running? At my default path, which function is running? Home function, correct? Home function. So if this home function is running, correct? Which is doing what? Which is rendering my home.html template, correct? Now you guys tell me, if I do something like this, okay, if I try something and if I try to add one task, where this data will be submitted, in which function? What do you think? In which function this data will be submitted? Yes, in backend only, but in which view? The views which we have created. Listen, guys, see, request stores our data. Agree? Request is going to store our data. Yes or no? Yes. Now you tell me, as soon as I click on this, it's a post request, right? It is a post request. Now this post request is going to go to which function? Which function? Home function, right? It is coming to our home function, yes or no? See guys, what I did. See, for my default path, which is slash, okay, for my default path, what is running? One get request is running, correct? Where this get request is running? At slash. That means my default path, correct? Slash means default path, and it is running. That means at this default path, which function is running? Home function. This much you understood? Home function is running. Yes? Agree? Now, what I'm doing, I'm typing some data, okay, and I'm submitting it, okay. As soon as I submit, is it changing my route here? Is it changing anything here? No, right? That means some request is generated, and at which route this request is generated? Tell me. Route. I want the route, no, not the function. At which route? Basically slash, correct? Default route, my default route, which is just slash. At this route, one request is generated. Now you tell me, what type of request is generated? Is it a post? Is it a get? Is it delete, edit? What type of request? Post request, correct? Whose data which we can see here. One post request is generated as soon as I hit submit button to my form, and it is generated to this default path. That means one post request is coming to my home function. Agree? One post request is coming to my home function. Yes or no? Yes? Yes. Now what we are going to do? Tell me. Now I will check, okay. In my home function, I understood that the request which I am passing, it is coming, it's a post request, and it is coming to my home function. But by default, home function takes what type of request? Get request, correct? By default, home function is going to take get request. Any function you take, anything you take in the world, it is going to run by default on a get method. But this post method is something new to home, correct? So that is why where we need the condition. We are going to check whether this request which is coming, if its method is double equal to post. And I feel like I have taught you this condition yesterday. Do you guys remember this? I told you that whenever it is a post request, we are always going to check, no matter how big of a programmer you become tomorrow, you will be using this condition only. Okay. At any big project, anything, whenever it is a post request, always this request will be used. Okay. So not to worry. It is going to be used almost in each and every project. Okay. Because any project without CRUD operations is kind of useless, you can say. Now, what we are going to do, guys? We are going to get this data, correct? We need to get that data, yes or no? I will just put a pass statement here. Okay, I'll just put a pass statement here. And you guys tell me, whatever we are passing here, are we storing it in some data? What do you think? Are we storing it in some data type? In some variable? We'll check, okay, what it is giving us. Yesterday when we saw, it was giving us, right, something called as in a underscore dict underscore. Okay. Yesterday when we did, it was giving us one query set, correct? It was giving us one query set where it was storing the key value pair of the name which we were passing, name, and the values which we enter in the input field. Now, if I try to submit some data, let us see what it is giving us. Add task. Request is generated. What it is giving us? Nothing, right? No data. Yes or no? This query set is only having the CSRF middleware token. Is it having our data which we had passed? Is it having any data which we are passing? No, right? How do we do that, guys? How we are going to create the variable for this? Yes. How we are going to create the variable for it? Yes. We are going to pass the name attribute. Do you guys remember, all of you, what is the name attribute? And where do we give it? Give this name attribute. You tell me, where we are going to give this name attribute? In form, yes, but in which tag we are going to give this name attribute? Input tag, not label tag, because input tag is the one which is taking some input, right? So for that we have to create one variable to store whatever the input we are passing. Yes, so I'm going to go to my form.html. Okay, and for this input tag we are going to write one attribute called as name attribute, and here I will say I'll just say name. Okay, t name, I will say task name. Okay, and for this here I will say name equal to t desk. Okay, so basically task name and task description. Okay, fine with it, everyone? Up till here, all of you understood what I am trying to do, what we are doing? Everyone is understanding? Yes or no? Is it easy? Isn't it easy? Salman, that's what I explained, right? Whenever we are submitting any form, like not any form, this form, whenever we are submitting, it is submitting this request at this particular route, default route. And that particular, and for this default route, which function is running? view function, this home function is running, right? That is why we are writing this logic in our home function. If it was, if suppose this form was here in this page, the form was here, and if I was submitting any form here, that means which, in which function I had to write the logic, guys? Tell me. Home or task details? If here was the form, tell me. You guys only tell me. If the form was here in this page, then you tell me where I had to write the logic, in the home function or task details function. Task details function, right? Correct? Understood, Salman? Yes. Salman, you understood? Everyone understood? Not just Salman, but okay. So we were writing a logic into our home function, correct? Now we will pass something, okay? Now what I will do, I will just print it. I will print, whenever we are passing something, I will print what? Request dot post, capital post, correct? I will just print request dot capital post. I will just close this one, okay? So that you does not. This is one single function, don't get confused. Okay. Yes. So we are going to print this. Okay. I will say, okay, we'll say Salman description. Hello. How are you? Okay. And I will add task. As soon as I add task, it is going to print. It will check whether the request, this requested method is post or not. Okay. That means now it is true, correct? Requested method is true, so it is going to print request dot post. But I guess here it did not reload properly. We'll just save all these files, Control S, and then just reload everything. Just go to this. Okay, now I will type something. We will say coffee. Need to take one coffee break. Okay, and I'll add the task. Yeah, it is checking whether the request method is post or not. If it is yes, then it is going to print that particular dictionary. And here it is printing this query dictionary, correct? It is giving, right? T name equal to coffee and T description equal to need to take one coffee break. Yes or no? So we somehow retrieved the values, correct? If I just want to see this coffee, what will I pass? If I just want to see the name of the task, what will I pass here, guys? Yes. So I will just say dictionary, this subscript of T name in a string, correct? And again, I will print description also. I'll say T desk. Yes or no? Everyone understood this? I'm just printing. This is what I have already explained you yesterday. Yes. So I will pass here same thing, coffee, and need to take a coffee break. And I will add a task. Okay. As soon as I add task, see, it is checking whether the request is post. Yes, the request is post. After that, it is printing me coffee and whatever we are passing. Yes or no? Now, instead of writing, instead of just printing it, what will I do? I will store these values into some variable. I will remove this print. Okay. I'm going to remove this print statement and I will say name equal to, so now t name equal to what? Request dot post, and I will just say t desk equal to this, not print statement. We'll remove it. This also understood, everyone? All of you understood what I did here? See, this name need not to be same. Okay, you can write any name. Okay, what I'm doing is, see, Santosh, all of you know how to print this now, correct? This t name is what? This is value pair, correct? So this becomes a key. So using this key, I can fetch the value which the user is passing. Okay, using that particular key, I can fetch the value which user is passing from the front end. Okay, and what I'm doing now, we were printing this value, correct? Now instead of printing, I'm just storing it in some variable. Okay, I'm just storing it in this variable called as t name. You can give any name for this variable. Okay, it's your choice. This also, in your form, you can give any name. This also you can give any name. It does not need to be same as what you have written in your models. In models we have name and description, correct? Okay, now you tell me, guys, we fetched what? We have successfully fetched the name and the description for the task. Now what we have to do? Now we have to store it into our database. That means we are going to do the create operation now. Yes or no? We already successfully fetched the details which user want to store in the database. Now what we have to do? Now we need to actually store these details into our database. Correct? And how do we store it? Basically, we call this operation as a create operation. And you tell me how we are going to store the data into our database or insert the data into our database that we have created. What is the name of the table we have created? It is my task, correct? In this my task, I want to store the data. How do we do that? We have seen it, right? Correct. We are going to use create. Correct. We are going to use the create method to create or to insert the data into the table. Yes or no? We are going to make use of create method. How do we do that? We will say my task. All of you know, right? All of you know about create method. Is there anyone who is confused still up till here? Anyone is like not following me? So what we are going to do? We will say my task dot objects dot create, correct? And here what do we pass, guys? I'll just press enter, okay, so that it looks better. Here we are going to pass, correct, we are going to pass some keyword arguments. Are you sure we are going to pass t name equal to that? Here are we passing any t name or the names which we have created here? Name and description. Yes, whatever we have created in the database, whatever the name of that particular database field or a column is, only that we have to pass. Now here I will say name equal to what? It is going to be this name, correct? T name. Yes or no? Whatever we have fetched from the user, it will be name equal to t name. Usually we were passing something like this, no? Name equal to hello. We were passing it manually, but now we have already fetched the data from the user. We can do that. Name equal to t name, comma, description equal to t desk. And do not forget to put the comma, okay? All of you understood this statement or not? You tell me. All of you understood this statement? Everyone who are these below, it's okay. They are never answering. So at least the people who always answer me, if you guys understood it, enough for me. Okay. Santosh, we are implementing create operation into our project. Okay, which part is confusing, Abhishek? Let me know. Okay, see, do you know about create method? Yes, Abhishek. Do you know about create method? Okay. Do you know the syntax of it? What it takes? Yes. So previously what we did when we were using it in our shell, right? When we were using it in our shell, what we used to do? We used to do something like this. See, something like this we did. We say my task dot objects dot create we did and name equal to, let's say I said water and description equal to drink water. Correct? Something like this. Yes or no? You remember this, right? Yeah. Similar to that, now we are not creating this data. This is a static data, correct? This is a static data. Now what we are doing is we are telling user to enter some data. Yes. Now whatever the data user is entering, that we are storing into this variable called as t name. If you want, you can change the name of that t name. Okay, we can change name of it. Now whatever the data is, we are storing it into this t name, and description is we are storing into description. Now instead of passing this string here, I will pass the data which I have received, that is stored in the t name. So I'm saying name equal to t name, where and then description, passing this description, static description, I am passing the description which I have received from the user itself. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, good. Fine. So did we create the data now here? Yes or no? Did we create data? Okay. Okay. Now I will teach you one more function. Okay. We are going to teach you. Teach. Oh my God. I'll teach you one more function. The name of that function is called as redirect. Okay. Redirect function. When do we use this redirect function? Whenever, let's say, after adding the task, okay, what I want to do after adding the task, I want to redirect or to refresh this. I want to refresh this page. Okay, we want to refresh our home page so that it as soon as we write that data, it is going to show us this data here itself. Correct. Now, if this data is retrieved from what? Our database. Correct. This data, whatever we are passing, is being retrieved from our database. So, if I pass some task here, if I am passing some task here, that means this data is also being stored into our database. So, this data should also, be displayed here as soon as we create it. Correct. Now for that reason we are just going to say, let's say, redirect. Okay, just like render function, we have one more function called as redirect. How do we do that? Come here at the render function. Is everyone following me now? Are you guys there? Yes, right? Okay. So this is some extra function. If you want, you can use it. I mean, it is always better to use it when you are going to use it. Let's say if you are doing some post request and all, at that time, as soon as the entire operation is done, all the posting operation is done, okay, whatever it is, it may be whether it is a edit request, delete request, anything it is, after that we are going to redirect to this page itself. Wherever you want, you can redirect, but for now I am going to redirect to this home page. Okay, so I will say render comma redirect. Okay, we will make use of this redirect function. It is also in Django shortcuts. Okay, redirect function is inside Django shortcuts. It basically helps us to redirect to any other page or to call any other function. Now what I will do here, I will say return redirect. Okay, return redirect to where? I want to go to home function, right? I want to go to home function. So for that, what I have to write? I have to write its URL. Everyone pay attention. Redirect function takes the URL. URL as in it is going to take the name of the URL. Okay. And all of you know what is this name. Basically the alias name. Okay. Redirect function will take the alias name of that URL. So what is the alias name I will pass here? Redirect to where? Home. Correct. The alias name for our home function is home. Done? Everyone? Is it done? Understood? Only this much we have written today. Only this much of the logic. From which these 3 lines you already knew, and this also you already knew. Correct? Create method you already knew. You understood this line also now. That means everything is already done for you. Only one new thing is you learned is this redirect function. That too very easy redirect function. Basically it is used to redirect to any page, and we just pass the alias name of the URL. Okay. Now I will just reload it. Okay. I'll go to this route again. Okay. So okay, it got created. Don't worry. The data by default got created, I guess. We'll do one thing. What's the name of the task? Okay. And what we are going to do is we will delete all these tasks. Oh my god, so many. Okay. Everyone, we will delete all these tasks. We don't want. Initially, obviously, there are no tasks, right? I hope everyone is following me. Yes. Okay. So I cleared my entire table. Okay. I deleted all the tasks. Now what I will do, I will go back here. Is it showing me any tasks now? No, right? We don't have any tasks. What I will do is, see, I will create one task. Okay, we'll say coffee. Okay, same task. And I will say need to take one coffee break. And everyone pay attention what will happen. See, I will add this task. Is it added? Yes or no? Added, right? Yes. So I will say project 1. Okay. Have to complete the project 1. Correct. And I will add it to the tasks. See, the task is being added. Now if I want, I can click on this coffee and I can see need to take coffee break, and I can see project 1. I say have to complete the project 1. Isn't it interesting, guys? Interesting, right? To see how this things actually works. All of you understood the create. So what is happening is, see all these are post requests. So what is happening? The data is coming, correct? Whatever we are passing here, whatever like whatever we want, we can pass. Okay. Now, as soon as I click on this add task, what is happening is it is coming to this function, and we understood that why it is coming to this function. Yes or no? We have understood it very clearly that why it is coming to this home function first of all. Okay, that is clear. Then now it comes here and checks whether the request is post or not. Yes, whenever we are submitting the form, the request is post request, correct? So then we are going to get the data. Okay, whatever the data which we are having, we are going to get it by using this syntax here. We will say request dot post. Now request dot post is what? It returns what? Tell me. Request itself is a dictionary. Then request dot post is going to return us what? We saw it, right? Some type of data, new type of data for you. What is it? What type of data does this request dot post is going to give you? Guys, am I audible? Dictionary, or you can call it is not a query set. It is a query dict. Have you noticed? It is not a query set. It is a query dictionary or a query dict. Okay. Or in simplest terms, it is a dictionary. Okay. In a very simplest terms, it is dictionary. It's nothing but a dictionary. And as soon as we get this dictionary by using the Python subscript or indexing type of whatever you want to call it, Python subscript syntax, we are going to fetch that particular value which is present at this key and this key here. Okay, and we are going to store these values in the respective variables. After that, we are going to pass these variables as a value to these keyword arguments for our create method, which is used to insert some data to our database, or you can say to create some data into our table. Okay, and after that what we are doing, we are again redirecting to the home function. So whenever we are redirecting to the home function, what type of method you feel like it is? What method it is, guys? Whenever it is redirecting, basically refreshing our home page, that means what type of method it is? Get method, correct? See, as soon as we pass the post request, you can see here, see, as soon as you pass the post request, what it is doing? It is coming here, doing it within seconds. Within seconds, it is doing this task and redirecting or refreshing our home page. That's why we are getting here get request. You can see the timing. It is also at 7:41, 7 seconds. This is also same, 7:41 at 7 seconds. That means at this within 1 second it is doing all this task, like creating the data, like submitting the data, creating the data, and also redirecting us to the our home page. Okay, so these two methods are doing very fast. Okay, correct. Understood? Everyone understood how to do create operation? Yes or no? try to do that without looking at the code? Can you guys do that? See, as soon as I do that, as soon as I said it, you guys said show view logic. Okay. Take a picture, or I will send a picture in the group itself. Better.